Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory go to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rachah Kodash, double honor to the apostles, elder bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and taught us this truth. Salutations to the sincere Achim out there that are spreading the word in the name of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, to wake up the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. To all your brothers and sisters out there that believe in Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, to all of y'all say Shalom. So yeah, it's going to be straight into the point. Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah. Just going to jump in it. This is Proverbs 23, verse, let me see, verse 9. Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Because fools, they cannot understand, cannot grasp this truth. They cannot understand how beautiful this is because it's not given unto them. So if you waste time to basically explain someone that is not in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, or that is a scoffer, it's just something that you need to, just let go. What does the book of Titus says? Let me see, what was it? Because if you deal with people, man, let me see, Titus 1. Because there's a lot of people that are out there just scoffing, wanting to make podcasts and all types of madness. And this is something that is, availing to nothing. It's just people wanting to be seen, just people that want to be out there, as they say, cloud chasing. And that's not what we do. We bring out the scriptures. We want to get the hell out of here. We are desiring the end of this world. We are hastening the day. So let me see. Also, let me see, because so let me see. Titus chapter 3 and 10. A man that is a heretic after the first and second admonition. If you admonish someone, you warn him. You understand? And a heretic is someone that just follows his own will. You can't tell him nothing. You're on the Kanye West shit. So if you go into heretic in the Greek, goes to heretikos or heretikos.
Strong's G 141. Heretics. Heretics.
Heretikos. So it's fitted or able or take or choose a thing. It is schismatic, factious, a follower of a false doctrine, a heretic. He's schismatic, causing division, split. So if you go to admonition,
Strong's G 3559. Nuthesia.
Nuthesia in the Greek goes into admonition, exhortation. That is basically going into the Strong's, calling attention to i.e., by implication, mild rebuke or warning. You look it up.
Admonition.
Admonition goes into a warning, admonishment, a remonstrance, expostulation. Expostulation. Let me look it up like this because then it's going to give me normally through Google it will, but expostulation. I'm gonna just put it here in the Merriam-Webster, and it goes into expostulation or expostulate, and it goes into to reason earnestly with a person for purposes of dissuasion or remonstrance. So that you basically talk someone uh, out of something, warn him like, hey, basically slow it down. As let me double check it. Yeah,
dissuasion,
dissuasion. Your persuasion and
dissuasion,
is the act of advising, arguing, or persuading someone not to do something. Yeah, dissuasion. Basically, persuading someone not to do something. So, I stand corrected on that. This is what it is. It is the exact opposite of yeah. I was right anyway. I'm gonna take it back. So it is the exact opposite of persuasion. Instead of encouraging someone to take action, you talk to them. Basically, you're talking them out of an intended belief, plan, or course of action. And if people don't want to take heed to the word, whereunto you do well if you take heed, like in 2 Peter 1:19 on down. Hey, if you don't want to listen, we just keep it moving, man. Like the elders of our elders said, if a nigga can't get it, we moving on. So that's what it is, man. The elder apostles heard it, talked about it, and that's actually a very good thing. So that is 3 and 10. A man that is a heretic after the first and second admonition reject, knowing that he that is such is subverted and sinned, being condemned of himself. They already turned away from the truth, man. They're done. Seared with a hot iron. First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. It's just done, man. So now the Holy Spirit tells us clearly that in the last times some will turn away from the true faith. They will follow deceptive spirits and teachings that come from demons. These people are hypocrites and liars, and their consciences are dead, seared. And we go into the word seared. It's stuck on stupid, man. It goes into
Strong's G 2743. Causteriazo. Causteriazo.
casteriazo, to mark by branding, to brand something, basically branded with their own consciousness, whose souls are branded with the marks of sin, who carry about with them the perpetual consciousness of sin, seared in medical sense to cauterize Remover by contrary. Let me look up contrary as well.
Cautery.
Cautery refers to a medical technique that uses heat, cold, electrical currents, or chemical agents to burn, sear, or destroy body tissue. It is primarily used to stop bleeding, hemostasis, or hemostasis, remove abnormal growths, or seal wounds to prevent infection. So you just burn it to stop the bleeding. So these people are just stuck, in a certain situation. Their minds are just sealed up with their foolishness by these demons that jump on them. It goes into Kyle, set on fire, light burning to burn, consumed with fire. So burned with a hot iron, and a hypocrite is someone that is just faking the funk. He is an actor. It says it here, a stage player, the acting of a stage player, dissimulation, hypocrisy. The
Strong's
Hebrew
G
of the Greek,
5272. Hypocrisies. Hypocrisies.
hypocrisies. Acting under a feigned part, so you're faking the fun. Figuratively, deceit or deceit, hypocrisy, condemnation, dissimulation, hypocrisy. Goes into hypokrinomai.
Strong's G 5271. Hypokrinomai. Hypokrinomai.
To take up another statement in reference to what one has decided for oneself. So basically, you taking someone else's text and let me see, to take up another one's statements in reference to what one has decided for oneself. Yeah, that's basically, let me see, using someone else's words to basically back up what you have been decided. That's basically what I get out of this. But to reply, answer, to make answer, speak on the stage, and that's what an actor does. Taking someone else's words, it's been written for you. To impersonate anyone, play a part, to simulate, feign, to pretend. You're a faker, you're a pretender. It's just like, the series back in the days, The Pretenders, with Roger Moore, if I'm correct. So, could be wrong with this long ago, but to decide, speak, or act under a false part, i.e., figuratively dissemble, pretend, feign, and we don't come with feigned words. We just speak plainly, so Second Peter chapter 3, verse 1, it says, the rise of false prophets, but there will false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies. And it's the spirit that I just went here because I was thinking about that after speaking about the heretic. And the heresy is just, it's just people that follow their own ways, their own doctrine, man, false doctrine. Even denying the Lord that bought them, because we are bought with a price, the blood of Yahweh Shai didn't flow for nothing, because we are cleansed through his blood, through him being on the cross. That is what it is. And bring upon themselves swift destruction. That's the only thing that you're getting. A bad rep and a lot of destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And that's what you see with these groups. All these bums, all they calling upon, this they're mocking the name of the Lord. These sellouts, man. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words, sneaky, clever words, lying, faking it, you know. They have alternative motives, but they speaking with the snake tongue, like a devil. Make merchandise of you. You need, and that's what they do, man. Buy this breakdown for 70 something, 99. They come with life coaching and all types of bullshit. Just teach the scriptures and shut the fuck up, man. Excuse my French, but just do what the Lord told you to do, man. Freely receive, freely give. Stop with the madness, man, because you've seen what the Lord did into all these, people that jumped upon their high horse, saying that the apostles needed to stop there to old and all that, man. Later to be found out to be, bending over for females that begged them up in their behind, man. Shameless. These impudent men couldn't even get it along with one another. I had to break off, multiple times to start something new. But y'all the men of the Lord. You don't even get the scriptures right, man. The basic things right. So, all for the money. That's why you're out there in debates and all that. It's useless. Sitting with fools that don't understand the word of the scriptures. But it is what it is, so whose judgments now of a long time lingered not. It's gonna be, it's not gonna be postponed anymore. It's not gonna be postponed because it's gonna come quickly. That's just the proper way of saying it, because the Lord has a time for all these false teachers, because they are gonna be caught up. And the ones that escape them, the ones that are going to be made manifest, they will escape them anyway. To the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I was listening to GCC as well, like 15 years ago. So, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgments now of a long time lingered not, and their damnation slumbered not. So the destruction, will not be delayed, man. They will be destroyed. Let me go to feigned. Correct, it's just the same word. One of these goes with plastos. They plaster things over, basically.
Strong's G 4112 plastas. Plastas.
You had to go extra plastas. All right, plastas. So molded, i.e., by implication, artificial or figuratively fictitious, false, feigned. Goes to plaso, probably.
Strong's G 4111 plaso. Plaso.
Yeah, so to form, mold something from clay, wax, etc., use of a powder, to mold something into a certain thing, shape. So these people come up with all types of things in the spirit of, wanting to teach for filthy lucre, for their own belly, for their own lust, for their own will. They want to do what they want to do. That's basically it. You understand? So, and a lot of people will follow after that because it looks like niggerish ways. So they going to, cleave onto that because they don't really have to be out there and change. And that's what Jake don't want to do, Because when we tell them the truth, they be like, no, we will not walk therein. Just like in Jeremiah 6:16. But the punishment will be coming down upon you. Even though you want to believe, you make a covenant with death, you have itching ears, you just want to hear what pleases you. That's not how the Lord works. Heresies goes into
Strong's G 139. Heretics. Heretics.
Heretics. It goes into a body of men following their own tenets, sect or party. It goes into the Sadducees, Pharisees, some of the Christians, falsely so called, and dissensions arising from diversity of opinions and aims. So there's only one truth according to the book of Galatians. And if you take away or you add unto it, you're just cursing yourself. So a disunion. That's why you have unity camps, but you're still in disunion if you don't agree on the doctrine. Because the doctrine is one thing, and to be buddy with everyone, that's another thing. You can be friendly to someone or brotherly, but if you don't stand on, the basics of the scriptures, of basically, if you don't stand for the truth, you're not a brother, man, because you walk in darkness. So you should not be unequally yoked. One believes this, one believes that. Can two agree unless can two walk together unless they be agreed? Even in wickedness, people have to agree. So how much more in righteousness? So you have people out there that are just causing division, but the ones, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, this is 1 Corinthians 11, verse, let me go to 18. First of all, when you come together in the church, I hear that there be divisions among you. And I partly believe it. This was what Paul was saying to the brothers in Corinth, the church of Corinth. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. So eventually, yeah, you're gonna have divisions, and the ones that are of the spirit, are in the spirit, they will be just sifted out of there, man. It will be clear who is following the Lord anyway. When you come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For in eating, everyone take it before other his own supper, and one is hungry and another is drunken. What? Have ye not houses to eat and to drink in? Or despise ye the church of Yahweh and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not, because there was things going on that should not have been going on in the churches. You understand? So, but the point was, the ones that are in the Lord's, in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, those are the ones that will be sifted out anyway. So let me go into that. Approved goes into with the coins. People were shaving off, edges and all that. But the ones who were called dokimos, they only dealt with the real deal. You understand? The ones that are not having counterfeit money going up in circulation. They were men of integrity, and those will be made manifest anyway. Approved goes also into being tried. And manifest.
Strong's G 5318. Phaneras. Phaneras.
Who's the Phaneras is going to be apparent, who's in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Evident. Manifest, i.e., to be plainly recognized or known. You see, so it's going to be known who are the servants of the Lord anyway, because the Lord's gonna pull you out of that, man. And eventually, if you stick to the Lord, everlasting life, rest, true riches in the spirit, and also, of course, the things of the world that the Lord created, you're gonna actually enjoy, because the world is beautiful. Of course, it's left and right is being made horrible because of our enemy's rulership. But the world has very beautiful spots. And we cannot even enjoy, we basically the 50-minute city things, most of us are living that life anyway. So you just go to work, maybe you pick up your children, you eat, you shower, go to sleep, you wake up, shower, go to work. It's the same bullshit over and over again. The only beautiful thing is to be connected with brothers in the study and going to camp. Of course, you have your off, your leisure. You can have time for yourself. Work out a little bit or whatever you like. Paint, you make music, or But other than that, man, it's just to get through the time, man. The things that you do in your leisure. We are waiting for the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to be established, man. So yeah, with that, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rachar. Double honor to the apostles, elder bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the sincere Achim out there that are doing the work. So all y'all brothers and sisters out there that are sincere, to all y'all say shalom.